On January 1st of 2024, the Prime Minister of Ethiopia made the announcement to annex part of Somalia in order to establish a military base, and the decision to subsequently recognize the independence of a separatist group in northwestern region of Somalia. This constitutes a clear violation and a breach of Somalia's sovereignty and territorial integrity, the fundamental principles enshrined in Article 2 of the United Nations Charter. Somali government condemns and rejects Ethiopia's illegal actions and deceptive endeavors to disguise its failed annexation attempt of the Somali territory as a promotion of economic cooperation and integration. Somali government warns that such actions not only adversely impact regional stability, but also constitute a dangerous precedent to the international system of sovereignty and free and independent states for all countries, and erodes the credibility of rules-based systems. We have witnessed throughout the history how annexation has been a catalyst for regional tensions and protracted conflicts with devastating humanitarian consequences. Ethiopia's establishment in military base in Somalia amounted to declaration of war against Somalia and its people. Moreover, these actions have revived the violent extremist group Al-Shabaab and can reverse our hard-earned gains in Somalia in the last 3 decades. By unilaterally altering borders and territorial integrity of Somalia, Ethiopia government is fueling a cycle of distrust and hostility between Somali and Ethiopian people. Furthermore, the effect of such actions can have a serious destabilization effect given the complex ethnic makeup of the countries in the Horn of Africa. Consequently, such actions will certainly inspire the rise of ethnic separatist groups in the Horn of Africa, particularly in countries where there are constitutional provisions in the path to succession, namely in the case of Ethiopia. In addition to the immediate regional ramifications, the rebel effects of Ethiopia's actions can extend far beyond our borders of Somalia and Ethiopia. These actions can weaken the region, disrupt global trade and commerce, and potentially create an influx of refugees that strain the resources and the capacities of the neighboring countries. The reverberation of such violations will be felt across the international community, and they have the potential to undermine the stability and the security of the world. Madam President, African Union plays a role in preserving the borders of African countries and prevent conflict that could potentially threaten the stability and sovereignty of African nations. We have brought the violation to the attention of African Union's Peace and Security, AU Peace and C, but Ethiopia's government did not attend the meeting called by the Council to discuss the matter. Furthermore, in the African Union Summit on this past Saturday, the Ethiopian government kept President Hassan Sheikh Mohammed, President of Somalia, in his hotel and tried to prevent him from entering the AU headquarters to deliver his remarks. In light of this development, it's clear that Ethiopia is willfully obstructing the path of bilateral cooperations and raising dangerous precedents about its host country's commitment to the principles of African Union and international diplomacy. It appears that African Union's image has been seriously tarnished by such actions, and it's been held hostage to a host government led by Nobel Peace Laureate, who has become an international law habitual violator. Ultimately, the credibility of the United Nations and African Union and the stability of Somalia are deeply intertwined, and the aforementioned violations poses a direct threat to all. We express our view that African Union should have been more proactive, vocal about what's clear intent of blatant aggression against the unity and the territorial integrity of Somalia by Ethiopia. Given the gravity of the situation and serious regional and international repercussions, it's incumbent upon United Nations and African Union to ensure that they remain true to to their mission of conflict prevention and maintenance of international peace and security. In conclusion, we want to thank United Nations and African Union for their unwavering commitment and support for preserving Somali sovereignty, unity, territorial integrity, and political independence. It's imperative that Ethiopia abandons its expansionist ambitions in Somalia and strictly adhere to the fundamental norms of good neighborliness and principles of international law, the Charter of United Nations and the Charter of the African Union. My President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, has stated in many instances that we are committed, quote unquote, Somalia that's in peace with the world, which includes our neighboring countries, while Somali government affirms its keenness to exercise the highest level of self-restraint. It reserves its full inherent right of self-defense to respond to threats stemming from violations on its territorial integrity and unity in accordance with the provisions of international law. I thank you.